Thank you for joining us today. Maybe we wait for just a couple of seconds while everybody will be able to join this call. Today, we will be talking together with Iuliana. We will introduce her properly in just a few seconds. We are having today a new session of the Masterclass project, which is a project that has been started by our marketing team and whose aim is mainly to spread the knowledge, create connections within the industry, and get to know interesting people like Iuliana today. So the topic of the Swaarm class we are presenting today is launching your own marketing agency with the support of Swaarm platform. To quickly guide you through an agenda, we will be meeting Iuliana, as I just mentioned. We will have a brief introduction about myself, about Swaarm, about Iuliana, and Ads and More, which is the company that she founded. And then we will have some questions for Iuliana, where she will be able to share her best practices and some advices, sharing some knowledge and experiences. We will then have a Q&A session and then a quick wrap up and conclusions. We are recording this panel today, so don't worry, we will send it over to you after the session is over. But since I've seen now that most of the people have already joined, I would not wait any longer and jump into it. So everyone, nice to meet you. I'm Stefano Matteucci. I'm the head of sales at Swaarm. Together with me today, we have Iuliana. She is the co-founder and the CEO of Ads and More, which is a performance agency whose main focus is on scaling up advertising campaigns, providing transparency to the clients. Hi, Iuliana.
Hi, Stefano. Thank you for having me. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. I hope it's going to be a helpful webinar for everyone.
Thank you. So just a quick brief introduction about Swaarm. For those of you who might not know it already, Swaarm is a premium tracking platform. We are, I would say, kind of new reality, meaning that we were born 2 years ago, but we have already conquered a significant market share of the market. Our main clients are agencies, networks, and direct advertisers who are in the need of having a tracking platform, a tracking solution that allows them to manage their campaigns at scale. Maybe, Iuliana, would you like to share a few words about Ads and More?
Yes, sure. Ads and More is, as you said, a performance agency. We are a baby agency, as I like to say. We have been founded around a year ago. We have an incredible team, which is currently a bit small, but we are hiring, and hopefully in a few months we're going to grow. Our mission is basically simplicity. We try to give to our customers the best services possible, and of course to have a team of professionals that are really enjoying their job. This is simply our mission. And just in 2 words, what we do, we help apps to grow their user database, to promote themselves, and to have more engagement in app.
Thank you very much. Let's jump into the main topic of the meeting, of the webinar today. So the first question would be, why did you decide to launch your own company?
I think I will answer the first time to this question. So for me, it was a quite hasty decision after a personal event that happened in my life. I realized that I need a job or an activity where I can be independent, where I can schedule my tasks, travel to work maybe from another country, and so on. and why not to do something more meaningful overall? Quite selfish, I know. So I decided to leave my job, and in that period, I was talking about my wish with a friend of mine who turned out to be together with his partner, right now, my co-founders. So in my case, everything happened super fast. We founded the company in 2-3 weeks. And we created a performance agency that can bring growth to the apps, just because at that moment I mastered that and I was able to monetize it. Regarding the team, currently all people are, as I like to say, a key person in the company. It's just 8 of us, as I said at the beginning, and I am incredibly proud with my colleagues, with the team that we actually created. And right now, I think this is my biggest achievement.
Thank you very much. This is quite interesting, of course, having a strong funding team, but at the same time, having a strong pool of talents that can definitely help to bring innovation and a good quality of work into your company. So whenever we think about creating a new marketing agency in a very competitive landscape, as the digital landscape is nowadays, I'm quite sure that you faced many challenges. So which are the biggest challenges that you faced when you tried to enter the market with a new brand, a new company?
Well, challenges are going to be every single time, and ad tech industry by itself is a highly competitive market. And of course, a new agency can have a lot of challenges, from the fact that nobody knows you, from the fact that you have zero reputation and network, of course, to the technical issues that you have to deal with, you have to solve every single day. And also an important challenge and actually an important thing from my perspective is the fact that you have limitations in terms of money, time, and of course people. So those were the biggest challenges I think we faced.
You mentioned something about the network. We are both in the industry since quite a long. So, of course, each one of us has its own personal network. But what I believe is quite interesting in what you were saying is that whenever you create a new company, of course, your personal network will be useful. But at the same
Yes.
time, this doesn't make it all, right? So
Yeah.
people, maybe companies with which you were working earlier, don't know the new company, so they don't know if they can trust the company itself. They know you as a person, but creating a reputation is quite important, as you said.
Yes, this is actually a very good point, because yes, I had at the beginning my first ever client. I remember when I changed my job on LinkedIn, he wrote to me in a private message asking, what is with this company? I want to start working with it just because I know you. So it was very, very nice to have that. So yeah, I agree.
Definitely. Nice. So how did you overcome these challenges and how did we help you?
That's a good question. And important to say is that we are still overcoming some of them. And this is something that a person who opens a business should keep in mind. But along the way, we focused on hiring professionals with experience in the industry. And I can confidently say that our account managers are super good in what they do. Sorry. We focused on the value-added tasks and a closer client management. So basically just cutting the redundant tasks. And we focused on choosing a reliable tech partner, of course. And actually Swaarm, if we speak here about Swaarm specifically, the team helped us to solve all the above or the majority of before mentioned challenges.
Nice. You were mentioning that you have a very hard and tough selection process when it comes to hiring good account managers. Which would be the first two skills that you look for when hiring an account manager?
Only two?
Yeah, I mean.
So first of all, the person needs to have strong analytical skills,
Okay.
to think, to compare, and to be fast in solving tasks, fast in responding to the clients, fast in basically all the management they are doing. And one more, because I can't stick to two only, they should manage a very strong communication skills, a strong level of communication skills, because I really think that communication with our partners, it is a very, very important thing.
This is quite interesting to me because you mentioned two things, so speed and being able to analyze data and quickly understand which data they are looking at and to draw conclusions, take actions. This is something that I believe nowadays is critical to survive or to really gain a market share in this kind of industry. And so it's interesting to see how you are, let's say, having an approach when it comes to hiring that goes in the same direction as the industry. So well thought. Thank you. Moving forward, you decided to work with us. Swaarm, as we said, is quite new player into the industry, even if the entire team has at least 10 years each of experience in the industry, starting from myself to the founding team and so on and so forth. So you needed to select a technology stack. I believe since you were already working in the industry, you already had in mind some things that were fundamental, which are, let's say, the requirements that you would have. So if you could maybe in a very brief way answer to this question, what were the requirements you were looking for?
Yes, that's true. The thing that I had experienced helped me a lot. So the most important thing I was looking for was the automation. We were looking to automate repetitive processes. We were looking for a good value and a good price, of course, because I know the price is a struggle for the majority of founders, even if you have an investor. We were looking to have a support team in the same time zone as we were based, to have stability and data reliable partner. This was important for data loss reasons. And from my point, my personal requirement was to have a report that I can customize, meaning if I can make a report today, save it and use it later or tomorrow.
Okay, so you mentioned many features, definitely. Thank you for mentioning so many features that Swaarm nowadays provides to all of its clients. But since I don't want to promote too much Swaarm, let's move on to the next question. So you mentioned that you had in mind a list of requirements to be fulfilled. So why, at the end of the day, did you decide to move with Swaarm and not with some other solutions that are available on the market? And most important, how was your experience throughout the onboarding process?
Right. I will split your question in two. So at the beginning, Swaarm, for me, it seemed at the very beginning a very modern and easy to use platform. I actually received good feedback from a few people that were actually using it. And the board from Swaarm seemed to really understand the struggle of being a new company. So that, I think, helped us a lot. Regarding the onboarding process, I think it was an easy onboarding process. We had 3 sessions plus the daily catch-up, amazing support for every single issue we were having, total support on the MMP links. The support team overall was so patient. Rocky and the team, thank you so much. It was a pleasure, really. They made everything so easy. And the last thing, very important for me, it was the knowledge base that you were having at that time, and a feature that we are still using.
Okay, so for those of you who might not know, the knowledge base essentially it's a website where people, clients, can look for any kind of term, and we will provide them all of the articles that refer to that term. So let's say that you might be having any question about how to set up an MMP link, then you will be able to autonomously access all of the knowledge that we have about this, and also have guides which will show you step by step how to proceed with the implementation needed.
Yes, it's a very amazing tool. I really like it.
Thank you for this. I'm sure customer support team will be super happy. So what makes Swaarm so valuable? We've been talking about an easy onboarding process. You have mentioned that the experience that the team has in the industry makes the overall communication flow easier. You mentioned many things, but if you could, let's say, wrap up your favorite features into 3, what would you mention?
Let me think about them. So I would firstly mention the dashboard.
Oh, wait, maybe I can also share the screen so that we also give a visual representation of it.
Sure.
Okay.
So dashboard is going to be the first one, the second Explorer, and the last one, totally automation rules. The dashboard, once you're sharing, I can explain shortly why. So from a management point of view, this is a very good overview on the offers, on the profits, where are you standing today compared to tomorrow, on what offers you can take action or should take action. Yeah,
definitely.
We have publishers, offers, yes.
Okay, so can we say that you use this dashboard every day? As soon as you open the platform, you try to get an understanding of how your business is working, how it performed
More
yesterday?
than every day, yes.
Definitely. Okay, cool. The second one you mentioned is the Explorer, which is an advanced way of creating reports. So maybe I can quickly introduce this tool to all of the audience. This is a tool that allows you, with a quite easy drag and drop action, to look at any kind of data you might be looking at. So maybe do you want to share an example of which kind of report do you look at?
Yes, for example, for yesterday, for a specific publisher on a specific offer, what CR did they had? Okay, so just to create such a report, as you can see, we can drag and drop all of the features. In a matter of seconds, the results will be loaded. And in this case, we will be looking at the overall results for the advertiser, below all of the offers, and how the performance of each publisher has been. So let's say that you want to look at the conversion rate. Of course, here we are looking at weird data because we are in a demo ecosystem, but the idea is to give you access to a lot of data in a quite easy and fast way. So, Iuliana, would you say that every person in your team makes a good usage of this tool? Is it maybe more used by some people? Account managers are totally using it more often than sales managers. The account managers are using the Explorer, I think, more than 2 times, 5 times maybe per day. So every time you want to check something fast, this is a good thing to do. Go to Explorer, because you can go directly to the dashboard and click under a specific offer. For example, if you can go to an offer, click on it, and then on the right corner, you can go directly to Explorer. Yes, so you can directly see the stats for yesterday or for a week, or to compare them.
I see. Good. That's quite interesting. The third feature you mentioned, if I'm not wrong, is automation, right?
Correct.
So automation, as we created it, is an ecosystem where each account manager, each client can automatically create his or her own rules and automate some redundant tasks, as you were mentioning in the very beginning. So do you maybe want to share an example of an automation rule that you might be using?
Yes, we are using for a CR, for example, if we don't want to send to the MMP sub-IDs with more than 3K clicks, we can set that rule, and the system automatically blocks all the sub-IDs that have more than 3K clicks and no installs.
Have more than 3K clicks and 0 installs. So in this case, we would be selecting stats change, because we're looking at a rule that automatically triggers whenever there is a change in statistics. Then you would select the fillers.
Sorry.
So when do we, in which cases do we apply this? And let's say that in this example, you were saying maybe the sub-publisher has more than 3,000 clicks, for example, and you can add as many filters as you want. And when this happens, of course, we also need to make sure that conversions are equal to 0 or less than, let's say, 1. In this case, we will be selecting which action should happen. So in this case, I believe you mentioned you would like to post the sub-ID.
Yes.
Once this rule has been saved, it will automatically run. And this means that the system will automatically pose sub-IDs if one of these sub-IDs has more than 3,000 clicks and less than 1 conversion. Cool. Of course, you can, I believe you make an extensive usage of this tool. I believe it has so many features and possibilities that you probably have multiple rules running all together. How many rules do you think you have? And is there, since it's not an easy system, meaning that you might have multiple rules running on the same sub-ID, for example, did you ever need customer support to help you in setting them up? Yes. And how was the process?
Yes, so we agreed with them that before going live with a rule, we are gonna ask them if everything is set correctly. I opened the case multiple times, yes. So basically we open it, and if they give their okay, we go live with the offer. How many rules we have, I cannot tell you. We have a lot of rules. Okay,
that's quite interesting. Now, getting back to our presentation, so we have been talking now about your favorite features of Swaarm and the reason why. Now let's assume that you had the chance to go back in time with the experience you have today and give yourself some advice. What would you recommend to any founder who wants to start his or her own agency?
a very difficult question. And I don't really like giving advices, but okay, I'll do an exception. I would say just to start doing something, to take action, at least with baby steps, but to have some sort of action, to find a mentor. This is mandatory, and it helps me personally a lot to find a good tech person if you don't have that skills, to prioritize the tasks, of course, and to solve them when they come. So just not to worry about the issues you might have in 1 year, but just solve them now. And very important, but very difficult to do, is to focus rather on the solution every single time you have a problem than to focus on the problem. To automate, because this task will help you to scale the business overall more than you ever imagined. To learn about the features that the tech partner has to provide. The investigation is the key. And of course, to bring positivity, joy, and smile wherever you go.
Well, actually, I particularly like this last part of your answer because, as we were also mentioning at the beginning of this masterclass, in this industry, network effects are quite important. And since when we talk about network, we are mainly talking about human relationships. I believe that whenever you're able to bring some joy, some fun, some smiles, you can also impact others' life. Cool.
Yes,
Thank you very much. So
my pleasure.
now I believe we are at the Q&A session. So I've seen that we have received quite a few questions. Unfortunately, for time constraints, due to time constraints, we will not be able to go through all of them. But let me pick the first two that came in. So the first one is quite interesting. It deals with the changes that are everybody, I believe, is experiencing in the market nowadays. So there are issues due to privacy changes, due to changes in the algorithms of the MMPs. So the overall market is now trying to see what's happening, understand what's going on, and try to find solutions to all of these issues and problems. The question is, are you also facing some changes in the market? Are you facing some issues? And most importantly, how are you approaching this?
I straight in my heart. I would wish that my answer would be no, but unfortunately, yes, of course, we are facing. And we are approaching this, and we are basically tackling the situation from multiple perspectives. We are deeply analyzing the traffic, setting or trying at least to set even higher quality thresholds, testing and launching, this is what I'm doing right now, new advertising formats and channels that hopefully will bring a higher engagement, a higher quality overall. And one of the most important things that I really want to mention here is the fact that we are trying to educate more our clients. What does it mean? It means that the advertiser also needs to better understand the difference between channels, and because just sometimes we are comparing the metrics from social to in-app, and they are by default different. So this is, from my point of view, the main things that we are trying to do right now. The issue is quite fresh. We are still looking into it.
So just to maybe briefly recap the 3 points that you mentioned, we have on one side the education of the clients, so an open communication channel with them, sitting together with them at the same table to try to bring alignment on what is expectable and what is not, but also sharing some of the knowledge you might have with them. Another one is looking into new solutions. So we can recap this point under the umbrella of innovation. whether it's on new advertising formats or new channels of promotion. And the first one that you mentioned is related to spending even more time to dig into data, analyze patterns, and see where you can generate an improvement when it comes to campaign KPIs. Cool, thank you very much. The second question that we have is, which is the best advice you would give to a new founder when choosing the technology stack?
Again, advice, yay. All right, I would say maybe they don't like it, but I would say forget the in-house at the very beginning, just forget about it. If you don't have a team of tech people who actually can build a good solution, just better move to a third party, I would say. What helped us was to negotiate the first month as a free trial. This actually helps you just because you don't have the pressure of paying the bills. So because in the first month you're doing a lot of setting, MMP, clients and so on, so you don't have to worry about that. From my personal perspective, API is critical. You should have an API because again, this fasten your overall business. And maybe to not be extremely cheap, because if you are paying, let's say today, a higher price, it's going to be absorbed by your revenues in the next 3-4 months maximum. But on the long term, you're going to benefit from it for sure.
Okay, so you mentioned not to start with an in-house solution. I believe that the main reason behind this is that, of course, you need technical people, developers who are able to create such an infrastructure. But at the same time, probably the cost of servers would be a strong hit for your P&L, at least in the very first month. I see. Okay, then unfortunately we are running out of time. Even if quite brief, it was a real pleasure to host you today. For everyone who attended, thank you very much. Feel free to reach out to us as Swaarm. Might you want to find out more about our platform? And of course, feel free to reach out to Iuliana, Ads and More, in case you might want to create a partnership. If you don't have her contacts, feel free to contact us at Swaarm, and we will be happy to make an introduction for you. As I mentioned at the beginning of this masterclass, this session has been recorded, so we will share with all of you the recording once we terminate the session today. So, Iuliana, thank you very much. It has been great talking to you.
I want to say thank you as well for inviting me. It was an honor to be here. Thank you, Vanessa, for organizing all this, and thank you to the attendees for participating. Yeah.
Thank you very much, and I guess we will be able to meet in person in Barcelona at the Affiliate World Summit, or eventually at any other event. Thank you very much, and have a nice evening.
Thank you too. Bye-bye.